Well, hello everyone. Welcome back. Today I'm going to show you all about Guardian weapons and how to easily farm them. As you can see over here, Guardian weapons are among the strongest equipments that you can get in the game. Potentially so, because if you pair this with the Ancient Proficiency buff that you get from the Ancient Armor sets, you increase the damage that these weapons do by a hefty 80%. So as you can see here, this is the Ancient Battle Axe. With the 74 attack boost that it gets, that's higher than average, it would effectively become 133 base power, and the basic standard 60 damage variance would actually get to be about 108 base damage, which is the highest damage bonus that you can get in a Savage Lionel Crusher. It's really good, very reliable to farm, because you can actually kill the Shrine Guardians at the beginning of every Blood Moon, or at least for however long the cycle is, and it'll just continuously respawn, just like every other enemy in the game. As an added bonus, they do have a small chance of dropping Ancient Cores. Now, I don't know how many you guys have right now, but Ancient Cores are very useful because they upgrade Stasis, which is an infinitely useful thing to have because you can freeze basically any enemy with it. It's extremely useful. Throughout the map, there are 7 major test of strength shrines all over the map. So in the Hebrew region alone, there are 3. One over here, here, and here. Really difficult to find at first, well at least this one was. There is a shrine quest that you have to do to get it. Otherwise, yeah, you can warp to them whenever a blood moon happens. South of the Tabantha Tower is this one over here. Go down to the Gerudo Highlands, there will be one, and that pretty much does it for this side of the map. Now on the opposite, well, in the center of the map, there is the major test of strength found here in Hyrule Castle, the very bottom when you go to the docks. There's one in the Akala region, and if you were lucky enough, or unlucky enough, as it were, you can also find the major test of strength over here by Hateno. And the good thing about this, though, is the fact that Guardian weapons actually do bonus damage against the guys that drop them. So if you can overcome your first one, it'll be smooth sailing from then on, and you can reliably farm these weapons. They're very good weapons, you guys. So with the map out of the way, I'm over here at the Goma Asag Shrine, because this is the variant that uses all 3 weapon classes, so Spear, 2-handed Battle Axe, and 1-handed Sword. In terms of equipment, you don't need that much in the way of defense. Of course, if you have low hearts, the Battle Axe can one-shot you, so be careful for that. Even with the trousers that I have right now, you see I have like this full, 3 upgrades on the Hylian hood, and no upgrades on the trousers, but it only does about a heart's worth of damage anyway. If you really need the defense, the Champion's Tunic combines with the Soldier's Greaves, and I believe the Diamond Tiara actually gives some of the highest defense in the game, if not the highest, so this is something to keep in mind. When it comes to food buffs, I highly recommend you either use the Barbarian set for an attack boost, or actual food itself. The recipe that I like to use is 4 Mighty Bananas to get that +3 bonus, and a shard of Ferrosh's Horn, which bumps it up to 30 minutes. You don't necessarily need to have 30-minute buff. Even if you had, combine it with milk, you'll still get 4 minutes and 40 seconds, which is more than enough time if you were stacking the damage with the Ancient Proficiency, and then this, and using an Ancient Battle Axe and just wailing away on them. You can actually clear all 7 shrines if you just warp to them consecutively and still have enough timer on the buff. So I'm going to quickly down one right now, and I will be using the Master Sword and a Great Flame Blade so that I can draw out these fights and show you how to deal with the movesets. So the spear and the swords are both horizontal or Z-axis attacks, meaning you gotta dodge them to the side. In order to get the dodge down, you have to be facing them exactly. And the timing is quite fast, so you can actually get away with spamming the dodge if it ever comes down to it. As you can see over there, very little warning, so you might as well just do the dodge. As long as you're facing them, then you're all good. Now, usually there are pillars that you can hide behind, make them crash, you get some free hits in. But since we don't have that luxury, you just wait for it to stop spinning, wail away on him. With the spear and the short sword, you can do the full combo, and that should get them to stagger. And if you're using a heavy weapon, the 2-hit combo is enough to get them to stagger as well. So if you get a good rhythm going, you can pretty much just get away with mashing the attack button. Unlike the Lionels, you can't conserve your durability as easily. Yeah, the timing for that one is a little bit tricky, but it does the most damage out of all the attacks. At 3 hearts, it should one-shot me. Now, this is an interesting attack, because then he's going to windmill. This is easily overcome by just waiting for him to go in full swing. Gusts of air will come up. Take out your paraglider, aim yourself above him, bring down the hammer. Now, as you can see, I ran out of the energy right there, but that's pretty good considering it's only a 30 base damage weapon, and he's already almost dead. Yeah, the lasers don't do that much, don't worry too much about that. Remember, 2-hit combo, staggers instantly. I believe he's gonna go for another spin. Perfect. Another cool thing about having a 2-handed weapon, which makes them the best weapon to use against these guys, is the charge attack. Since you can maneuver freely as you're doing it, you can actually just roll behind them. He can't see you, he can't do anything except just dodge away. So now he's going to turn blue and start charging up a laser. It just becomes a DPS thing after this, you guys. If you're using a 2-handed weapon, or a 2-handed greatsword, use your charge attack, spin away. Otherwise, with the lighter weapon, mash away, because he's going to blast you, and there's nothing you can do about it until he just decides to stop firing. So as you can see, you get a small chance of getting the Ancient Core. Stasis is exceptionally useful against these guys. And I have seen some comments telling me that you can use the shock arrows to slow down them as well, stun them for a longer duration. Extremely useful, you guys. So, as you can see here, Ancient Battle Axe, they're all at their base values at the moment. Oh, except for this guy, so this is going to be really, really fun. So usually if you have the Guardian Sword at base 40 attack damage, and you have the Ancient Proficiency buff, boosted by 80%, you end up with 72 attack power. That is actually stronger than the standard Savage Lionel sword. And because it is 56 damage right now, let's quickly run a calculation over here, it will actually total up to 100.8. I'm pretty sure it's going to round up, but even if it doesn't round up, that is still higher than the highest rolled Savage Lionel sword I've ever gotten. So yeah, that's a really big win for me right there. As well, we have the Guardian Spear. It gets bumped up to 36 damage, which is stronger than the average Savage Lionel Spear, although it does get outclassed as upgrades go by, because I think the highest damage of the Lionel Spear will be like 43, but I'm pretty sure that even if you were to boost up the Spear by like 15, so if it was like 35, let's just say, increase that by 80%, it would be 63 base damage. That's really good. And of course the Battle Axe, as I've said already, potentially as strong as your carbon fully upgraded Savage Lionel Crusher as well. They're all very, very good weapons. I highly recommend having the Barbarian set, because you get to have the attack boost right off the bat, as well as the set bonus, which increases the longevity and decreases the stamina consumption of your spinning attacks. Now, if you guys need to know where to farm the Dragon Horns, I'll put up my video that I did for just that in the description, as well as how to efficiently farm for the Ancient Helm. Fighting against these Shrine Guardians over here, though, they do have the small chance of dropping an Ancient Core, as you guys saw earlier in the aftermath of that fight. And that's going to go a long way towards helping you get your upgrades ready. You're going to need quite a few of them, so it's not exactly supplementary, but they are there. One last thing I want to point out is that if you are having too tough of a time, which most of us can at some point in the game, you can start off with a minor test of strength, then work your way up, clear them, get the weapons that they drop, since they do an additional 30% damage against other Guardians, and then make your way toward the modest test of strength. So like there's one over here by the Highland Stable in the Farron region, few others that are scattered across the map. So yeah, over here by Hateno as well, or in the, at least by the Necluda region. all over the map. There are a few of them, so yeah, just those 3 locations that I showed you for modest tests, they would be enough to help kickstart your adventure to getting the tier 3 variants. And the tier 3 variants are the ones that you want, because those give the highest damage, very reliable to farm because you can warp straight to them, claim their stuff, pick up the parts, and yeah, really stick it to the Lionel, so to speak. Really useful for fighting against bosses. You can't go wrong farming these weapons. They're all really, really good. Shield variants are there as well. The best way to work around the shields users is just to use a spin, like a 2-handed weapon, spin around them, because they can't look at you. All they can do is just take all the hits and then jump away when they take too much. So anyways, I hope this was useful to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed watching me use them. It becomes significantly easier. These are the kinds of things that you have to practice over and over again, but the movesets are pretty down pat. Remember, if he's using the 2-handed weapon, that's a backflip. If it's a 1-handed, like a spear or a 1-handed sword, that is a sidestep, and you have very little time to react to it, so you're better off kind of just quickly dodging to the side, because you're probably going to come out with a flurry rush with that. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, I hope to see you guys in the next video. So see you later, you guys.